What's up, Misfits? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're doing a walkthrough of everything I wish I knew and everything I think you should know when it comes to creating your character in Cyberpunk 2077. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the skills, the attributes, and how they influence your playstyle. Let's jump into it. Alright, Misfits, it's finally here. Cyberpunk 2077. And if you made it through the implosion of the Steam servers or the long wait that console had over PC, you're probably ready to dive into the game head first. And I get it. Trust me though, you're going to want to understand how the skills tree and the abilities work before you do. In Cyberpunk, you have 5 customizable attributes, which are going to dictate the types of abilities you have, which is in turn going to dictate the efficacy of your playstyle. Had I known what I do now, I would have approached the assignment of my points initially very differently. The game describes the 5 attributes of your character as body, which determines your physical power, intelligence, which determines your net running proficiency, think of that as hacking, reflexes, which determines your maneuverability and your movement speed, technical ability, which represents your technical know-how, and cool, which determines your resilience, composure, and effectiveness with stealth. The reality is much deeper than the simple descriptions provided in the Create a Character screen. The 5 attributes serve as gateways protecting an assortment of different abilities that will have a significant influence on your playstyle. Under the character screen, when you open up each attribute to look at the available perks, you'll see roughly 20 upgradable perk nodes. Some of the nodes can be upgraded multiple times, and some of the nodes are level locked. The level lock here isn't your character's level. It's the ability's power level. Let's say you want to make sure your katana causes significant damage, so you want to upgrade the Stuck Pig perk under Blaze, which is going to increase the bleeding duration on your enemies. You can't upgrade this ability until the Reflexes attribute has a power level of 8. Each time you level, you're generally going to see 1 attribute point and 1 perk point, which means you need to be smart with all of your points early on if you're trying to play with a specific style in mind. Here's an example. Say you want a stealth hacking ninja with a katana that takes enemies down before they even know what hit them. The blade specializations are located inside the reflexes attributes, while stealth specializations are focused inside the cool attributes. And then hacking is located inside of the intelligence attributes. So the perks inside each attribute are level locked. So just to be able to use the second tier of perks in each attribute for your character's build, you'll need to be roughly level 8 before it's even possible. And this assumes that you used all of your other attribute points up to this time on only those 3 attributes, which can be pretty difficult considering that health and stamina and your inventory size, those are all perks located under the body attribute. A misplaced point here or there won't be the end of the world when you're 45 hours into the game. But in the early game, it could have a significant impact depending on the difficulty you chose and the playstyle you prefer. I recommend you think about how you want to play through Cyberpunk for the first time and initially focus on getting the 2 attributes that best support that playstyle to levels 8 or 9, which is generally where the second tier of perks seems to be locked. Here's an idea on some playstyles and attributes to focus on. I come from a pretty strong first-person shooter background, and I am a self-professed loot goblin. I love the action, I love picking up all the goods after an intense gun battle. And trust me, Cyberpunk gives you plenty of stuff to pick up. Because that's how I enjoy playing, I should really focus my initial attribute points on the body and the reflex attribute. Body's going to give me access to health and stamina perks, plus it's going to give me the ability to carry more weight than you would by default. Reflexes is going to give me access to perks with lower recoil on assault rifles and pistols, as well as increase their damage or reload speed. Once I've got a solid base built with these attributes and perks, I can start leveling other abilities like hacking or stealth. If you want to stealth takedown and play like Sam Fisher, I recommend focusing on the cool and the intelligence attributes. This will give you stealth abilities which can increase your crouching speed or give you buffs after you perform a successful takedown, as well as give you access to perks that will offer easier quick hacks and faster cooldowns. If you want to craft special weapons and armor with unique abilities, then focus on intelligence and the technical ability. Though I will mention, I think this type of build will be one of the harder early builds because of its lack of combat prowess, and the need for higher level components when it comes to crafting better and more powerful weapons. Whatever your preferred playstyle is, it's important to work backwards from how you want to play to the types of perks that you want to fit into that playstyle, and then ultimately decide on how you should assign your attribute. Think about the character attribute system in Cyberpunk like a house. The initial attributes are the raw materials to build the home. Your perks that you'll choose within each attribute are the plans for the type of home you want to build. And then your playstyle is actually building the home. If you work backwards, you're essentially taking the vision of the home you want to build, you're putting it on paper with actual plans, and then you're getting the raw materials. So you're taking your playstyle, you're working back to the perks that fit into that playstyle, and then you're assigning attribute points to make sure you have access to those perks. Thinking of your character this way will make the leveling and attribute experience significantly more impactful for you, and will avoid ending up with a hodgepodge of skills and perks that don't really synergize well in the middle game, which could suck some of the joy out of your first Cyberpunk experience. We're going to finish off with a screenshot of each perk under the 5 major attributes for anyone that wants to pause the video and plan out how they want to approach building their character. If you don't want to stick around for that, feel free to hit that like button on your way out and consider subscribing to the channel to catch more Cyberpunk content as it's released over the next week. To all my other misfits out there, take care.